Hi class, I'm Katie, and for my project I'm learning how to golf. So a few basics of the game of golf that I just wanted to go over briefly are the course, which has 18 holes. The goal of the game is to get the ball from the tee to the hole in as few strokes as possible. The standing position pictures I have over here. The first one shows how you want to hit the ball in a fluid motion, not bending up and down and moving around so much. And then the second picture over here shows the angle you want to angle your club and also where you want to position your feet. And then another thing I wanted to touch on was attire and how this sport, unlike a lot of other sports, has a dress code. You can see they both have their collared shirts and their shorts, not too short, not too long, and their golf shoes. Sometimes in more professional settings, they will ask you to wear slacks. Okay, so when you are first hitting off of the tee in the beginning of the hole, you're going to want to use something like this. It's a 3 wood, so this just allows you to hit further. You can use it like at the driving range, like right here. And so you want to use this at the beginning. And then the next thing you'd want to use, like in the middle, is a club like this. This is a 7-iron, and it'll allow you to hit closer to the hole. And then once you get on the green, then you want to use a putter, and it'll allow you to hit into the hole. So this activity has been predominantly for the male gender because it's how it's been in the past. The sport has been around for over 500 years and over time has evolved to include women. A quote from the Women's Golf Journal says, "By the mid-1800s, women's sports were mostly framed as play, not as competition." At the end of the 19th century, men were still trying to keep women from playing the sport, and one decree said that women should not hit a ball any further from 60 to 70 yards because it is not graceful in the way that they are dressed. After much backlash in the UK, women pushed to form the Ladies' Golf Union and did so. Joyce Wethered was a star in the 1920s, and the figure Bobby Jones said she had the best swing, man or woman's, that he had ever seen. The LPGA was founded in 1950, and things got better when stars came along like Nancy Lopez, who won 5 successful tournaments in 1978. By the time that Annika Sorenstam arrived in 1994, the LPGA had many personalities and started stealing the occasional headline from men's games. And in 2001, Sorenstam became the first woman to ever shoot a 59 in a competition. From a statistical standpoint, the popularity of golf as a whole has continued to decline, but for women, a game deeply rooted in men's tradition, it seems as if golf is starting to see the light. More women are playing golf leisurely and have been accepted at the professional level. A current issue that has surrounded women's golf recently is the LPGA issuing a more conservative dress code for female golfers. This statement just came out recently on Monday, July 17th. Players received an email marked important from LPGA President Vicky Gotez Ackerman on July 2nd that outlined a new dress code policy and warned that they would face $1,000 fine for any violations. So this new list of requirement just changes a lot of the ways that women are dressing before, and that their athletic gear is being told to be more conservative. And so people are just going back and forth saying, like, is this really necessary? Why are they implementing this new dress code? I think there has been more steps forward in terms of participation. This is probably due to the fact that women have spoken up about wanting to play, and also for the different organizations that are geared towards supporting women in this sport, like the LPGA and Ladies Golf Union. Another thing that has spurred on the attempt to equal sports is the Title IX and support from the government for female sports. Traditional ideas of leisure of the opposite gender were that women were weaker and should not participate in sports. Throughout many historical periods, women have been perceived as the weaker sex. Often this participation was based on biological structural observations, which showed that women in general had narrower and smaller shoulders and broader pelvic girdles than men. Historically in golf, women were perceived as weaker and were told that they could not hit the ball further than 60 to 70 yards, and they were told that this was not graceful. The traits of passiveness, obedience to the husband, and most of all attractiveness were deemed necessary to maintain the Victorian image of womanhood. By avoiding exercise and cultivating a pale face and an incapacity to do work, a woman gave the appearance of being gentle. My experience with golfing relates to the materials in class in that I believe that it's important for women to be allowed to participate equally in different experiences. My experience was fun and I'm glad that I was able to try out something new, but after doing research about the great strides that women had to go through to be able to participate in the sport, it made me proud to be able to do this activity. The main takeaway that I got from reading about feminism and learning about the sport was that women have the right of choice in whatever activity they want to participate in. The very first golf tournament was held in 1811 on January 9th, and the first women's golf tournament was held at Musselburgh Golf Club in Scotland, among the town's fishwives. From then on until now, women have been able to overcome opposition, and today I'm able to do this activity. I had not participated in the sport before because I had been too nervous about what other people would think of me and if I was doing it correctly. But in doing this, I realized that at some point everyone needs to learn something, and the constraints that I had were all on myself. And eventually, when I learned, I had a good time. I gained most of my insight into the different genders when doing my research because I was able to learn how it was more male-dominated sport and gradually came to involve female pro athletes. While participating, my ideas were confirmed that females can do well in this sport if given the opportunity. I ended up playing pretty well after some practice, and when playing against my brother, our scores weren't that far off from each other, confirming that regardless of gender, skill can still be similar. It does seem, though, as men can hit physically further, and that's why they have handicaps which make things more fair for both participants.